Welcome to another episode of Mental Candy with Alex. And today I have a real treat for you. I met Joseph in a coffee shop where I'm every day in the morning. And he talked to me and we talked a little bit about business. And then I found out he's tremendous successful in his online business and selling his own brand, martial arts. And today we're gonna delve into his mind, how he created everything from scratch. And let's see. Thank you so much for taking the time.
Absolute pleasure, Alex. Thank you so much. It was very nice and random interaction we had because I see you there having coffee every now and again, and it was my coffee spot in the morning. I would wake up around like 6. I go there at 7. It's a nice walk. Sit, have coffee. I try to avoid the croissants. It looks like you're in the croissants there and I moved, and it's been a while. So that Friday, I was like, it's my Friday treat. I got in my car. I drove 12 minutes, which is a long way in Playa de Carmen to get to a coffee shop just to sit there. And then how we met, it was like all seats has sun. And I'm like, oh, fuck, I'm not dealing with this shit. And I see you, free seat. And I just sat there. I actually thought you were just like a random bodybuilder or one of those guys, that hit the gym. But it turned out you're a bad as well, and you're doing such fantastic with your business, so we connected at many levels.
Inspired you to create an e-commerce business with martial arts?
My journey into entrepreneurship, it wasn't really so much planned out. When I was in college, I would actually say I was doing business, but I had nothing to do with business. The reason I chose business is just because I thought it was an easier subject to tackle, and I just wanted to hang out and do college stuff. But I always wanted to get rich. I knew I want to be rich, but I had no clue, and I never had a job. I never knew how money is made, and I always had a question in my mind. I always thought, why do we have TV and a car? We don't know how to make a TV. Who's making this stuff? Why do we have all these things around us that I have no clue how it's made? I always thought, man, it must be difficult, like to create or to do business. But as I grown older, like within college, I realized I need to make big money. And I always talked about business with my friends. I never came through. I was in a good university and I thought if I graduate, I'm going to get a good job. I graduated from UBC with business management degree. And it was one of the toughest schools, and I'm not a school kid, but I put my head down and I really get after it, thinking if I graduate, I'm gonna get a good job and I'm off the races. Now I'm chill. So when I graduated at the age of 26, because I did 2 years back home in Saudi Arabia, I did 2 years of school, and then I quit. I moved to Canada. Immigration always, like when you immigrate to a new country, it always kind of throw you back. You're almost like 5 to 6 years behind another person that is not immigrant because you have to kind of adopt, and for me, learn the language. Being in the West, it's a whole nother thing. So there was a lot of gap I had to close. When I was in school, I was in scholarship. So, and I was getting money in. It was a good scholarship, very lucrative. And my family was giving me money. So money was easy. So when I graduated, all that stopped. I was living downtown Vancouver. My monthly expenses were around $5,000. And it went from 5,000 to zero. A lot of people don't understand how hard it is to go from up down. Sometimes you look at those millionaires, right? And you're like, they lost half of their money and go and kill themselves. And you're like, what the? You still got 5 mil in the bank. The guy is used to the $20 million life. 5 million is nothing. It's a problem to him. So going from up down is a major hit to your ego, to your lifestyle, and everything. So that shit hit hard. I was depressed. I just broke up with my ex at the time. So I was all alone. I worked for 9 months. I worked 10 jobs for 9 months. So I jumped from one job to another. Some jobs I did for only one day. The longest I did for 3 months.
What was the problem?
The problem was I wanted the money, but I was getting like 3,000 a month. And I'm like, what the f 3,000 a month in Vancouver, one of the most expensive cities in the world? It's nothing. And I'm like, I thought I'm stepping up, man, but I'm barely not even maintaining. I was like, you know what? There gotta be a better way. I was an accountant getting paid about $20 an hour. I sit there and I'm thinking $20, it's nothing. Then I do some research. It turned out if you clean, you get paid $30 an hour. I'm like, let's go. I don't care what I do. I need money and I need it now. So I sat behind a computer and I created 3 different companies, just websites, and they're all service based. One is a catering company for like events. And two is like immigration advice or whatever. This stuff I had some information about, like visa and whatnot. And then third one was cleaning company. And they're all different websites, have nothing to do with each other. But I thought I'm gonna create them, promote the hell out of them, and one must work. Because I'm desperate. I don't have time to start one and see if it works. So I started three at the same time and it went all in. We were approaching summer, so the cleaning company started getting some orders. I started getting basically some requests. And first request I got, we got in a car, we pull up by Walmart, me and my girlfriend, and we grab some cleaning supplies and we go clean. And I'm like, how hard could it be? I'm gonna clean the shit out of this toilet. I was mostly behind a computer. So first jobs I did myself, and then I was behind a computer. So that was my first shot at starting a business. If you want to start a business, the lowest barrier to entry and the easiest business to start is a service-based business because it's very hard to scale. So there's always room for new people to come. So that was my first business. It picked up after a year and a half. Within a year, I realized it's not scalable. I need something that scales, something that is completely remote so I can travel. A lot of people come into business like thinking it's the easy choice. It's not. It's the hardest choice in the first few years. But then you get the freedom. You're basically sacrificing 2 to 3 years for the freedom of 30 years. Take 3 years, throw them away. Okay. Work your ass. But now you created freedom for 30 years. A lot of people take the easy route, which is 40 years of fucking grinding 9 to 5. You lose your life. By the time you're home, you're already dead. You got Netflix and dinner at best. Next day, you're doing the same thing. By Saturday, now you're trying to find your groove. Sunday, you're finding yourself. You're like, you know what? I'm a nice person. Monday hits, you're doing it again. You're faking it. You're going to work and you have to pretend you're something that you aren't, you know? Like every time you put on a suit, you have to look at yourself in the mirror and be like, am I a fucking servant? Because that's who you are. You're not wearing a suit to look good. You're wearing a suit to serve. And you're a fucking servant. I'm a problem solver. I like to sit down, look at my life, and look at where the weaknesses, where things that could be optimized. Because frankly, a lot of people don't sit and analyze what they're going through. If you do sit down, analyze what pisses you off and how you can improve it, your life over time gonna get better. Because a lot of those things take time. You're not gonna fix them in a week. But if you fix them in 3 years, you got at least 20 years without that problem being around. And this is something I did. I looked up the time I spend with my friends, 10 to 12 hours a week. I said, I'm going to listen to a podcast to smart people more hours than the time I spend with my friends. So my mind now is thinking similarly to these guys, but it doesn't come easy. It takes years. It took me years. I started listening to Joe Rogan in the beginning. Joe Rogan was really hard for me to listen because it was in English and it was too smart for me. It was almost a workout. Like I have to actually think. It wasn't like a chill thing. Now I listen to it while I'm whatever, right? I'm chilling. Right, because I got used to it, and this is the thing with anything that's hard. They always say progress is out of your comfort zone. If something feels hard, like now I'm trying to learn Spanish and it's really annoying me, but I have to do it. The more I do it, the easier it gets. Yeah. And then once it's easy, now it's in your pocket. You got that. That's down here. You know, like for you, you told me you go to the gym. That's like brushing your teeth. It's nothing to you. You know, because you've done it for so long. And same thing. So I listen to podcasts.
Thank you so much for the insights. How did you came to this idea starting the e-commerce business and especially martial art?
I went like this. I said I need something scalable and I need it to be remote. So I sat down. Same thing. First time when I sat down on a computer, I literally started with how to start a business. I'm like, Google knows. Someone something about it. So I sat down, I wrote how to start a business, and I needed something scalable. So my first step was I wanted to spend as much time on research as possible because I knew whatever I'm gonna pick next, I don't want to be taking a wrong path, and 2 years later I realized I
yeah, you wasted 2 years.
Exactly. So I thought if I waste 2 months on the research, it's just going to set me on the right path. And then whatever it takes, I'm going to stick with it. I wrote down, and that was 2016, 2017. And e-commerce was, a lot of people thought it was saturated, particularly dropshipping. I was following just the normal or general formula, which is like trying to sell general products, see what product sells.
So how did it work? Did you buy it from Alibaba somewhere, like the Chinese Amazon, or what was the process?
Okay, well, first of all, if you want to start an e-commerce, you gotta understand it's all about marketing. There's no product there. What you're selling is a picture, basically picture of the product. And if it sells, you source it from the supplier. The supplier normally in China through AliExpress or Alibaba. So what you do, you create a store. You take pictures, products that you think it will sell. You put a really nice landing page and you promote them. If someone buys that product, you buy it from the supplier, you send it directly to the customer. So you never buy anything until you get your money. When I created that general store, it was just pictures and I sold probably 3 items in 3 months. I would wake up in the morning, get on my computer, work, go to the gym at 12 p.m., work out, come back, work, go to the gym again at 8, come back, work till 12. My day was work, sleep, eat, workout. That's it. I said, I'm not getting off this computer till something picks up. Same thing I did the first time. I always say, if you want to get something going in your life and it's big, like losing weight or learning a big skill or starting a business, it has to be the center of your life. Your life has to go around it till this thing starts working and becomes successful. Then you can start putting your life together again with it as one of the core elements of your life.
When did you start with the martial arts brand e-commerce?
I did that. I started in January. By May, nothing happened. I basically learned how to build a website, market, everything, and I promoted, nothing worked. Summer came, I said, you know what, fuck it, let's go back to cleaning. And it was like my company moved from cleaning to Airbnb management. I would do like cleaning, check-ins, check-outs, restoration, and things like that. And summers are hot in Vancouver. So I was like, all right, let's make some money. So summer came and I had a theory, which is you only fail when you quit. Because if you didn't quit, this is just experience for you to try again so you can succeed. So I said, I'm going back to this. I'm not gonna leave all this information that I learned and throw it away. That is failure. So September comes, I'm like, I'm gonna get back into e-commerce. October comes, I went all in again. And this time I said, you know what? It's not gonna be easy. It's gonna be hard anyways. So might as well start something that I give a shit about, which is martial arts. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna sell martial arts gear and I don't care if it's gonna take 5 years, but even after 5 years now, I'm in the martial arts world. I'm not only making money, but I'm also in my world. I started basically selling random martial arts gear through those websites, and my store was just random store.
In which year did you start?
That was 2017 or 2018. I would say 2017, and last quarter of 2017, that's when I started into martial arts. But it wasn't a brand, it was just random store. And that's where I started building the formula. And when I started, a lot of other competitors came in the market doing the same thing that I was doing, but they all failed because they didn't plan ahead and turn it from a random store into brand and build a brand behind it.
What do you do to stand out with your brand?
For a brand to stand out, it's very simple. You have to differentiate, right? How to differentiate? Many ways. One is depending on your market, right? For my market was design. Because what are t-shirts? Like I'm selling t-shirts, shorts. What is one of the easiest way to differentiate them? Put some designs. Let me break it down to for someone, I don't know you, and I'm in a pastry shop or I'm in a mall and there are pastries. And there's this pastry that does sweets, this pastry that does baked stuff, but I like cheese. And I always go to these guys. But there's this new guy, I don't never bought from him, but he sells cheese. I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna take a shot at it because I like cheese, and this is the only guy that sells cheese. So basically, if you provide something that is different and people like it, they will take the risk to buy from you as a random person just so they get the thing that you differentiated yourself from other guys. Now, this is that basically you're trying to just get them to cross that fence. They never met you, they never bought from you. Give them something that will get them to take the risk of purchasing from you. And then after they do purchase from you, impress them with your product and be like, oh, this cheese is actually good. This is not only a good cheese, but also fresh bread, nice surface. This is a nice place. And now it becomes one of their favorite places. Don't try to sell the same thing as everybody. If you sell the same thing as everyone else, why would they buy from you and take the risk of the unknown? because there is the unknown risk, that unknown factor. So that was my differentiation. My differentiation was design.
What do you do to provide an amazing customer service?
Customer service is so neglected, especially online, because like when people buy online, they have a lot of anxiety. They don't know you, they don't know your business, you don't exist. But because you sell online, you can hire and outsource very cheap customer service that costs you $500 to $1,000 for a full-time employee. And it's so easy to make sure everybody that buys from you, they get an email, they get a phone call, they get their emails responded to immediately. But we're going much beyond just responding to emails. We're actually calling people. If someone buys, for example, 5 pieces, we give them a call. Thank you for your purchase. We just want to confirm your size to make sure you're getting the right product.
This is really good.
Yeah, and we
This
make
is
sure.
mental candy right here in the podcast.
Absolutely.
That's insane. Like calling the people who buy at your store.
Yeah.
I mean, this is really good.
It's so easy too. Like I could hire 5 people, like to do customer service. They're gonna cost me like not that much. I mean, like in the beginning, you hire only one. It's not many customers, but now we have thousands of customers, and I'm making sure everybody gets a phone call. They make sure they tell us about their height, their weight. If they tell us they got a fight or competition, we give them some gifts, and and we're always trying to give them a very personal experience. It's very easy to do, and a lot of people neglect it.
What else do you do except calling that?
We throw a lot of gifts. If someone buys $100 order, like to throw a mouthpiece, a bracelet, things that cost $50, your profit is like $40, right? Why not throw $1? You're throwing $10 to $20 on this one purchase on market. Why don't you throw one extra dollar to get that person to think, oh my God? I always tell my people, whatever it is you want to throw at a customer, go ahead, because for us, we're building a brand. A lot of people think about profit like now, bro. The money you make now, 1 year and 2 years, is nothing. You might lose it any time. If I gave you, like, let's say you're flat broke, and I gave you $10,000, that doesn't change your life at all. Then $10,000 is gonna finish in like 3 months. Nothing.
Yeah.
But if I teach you how to make $2,000 a month, right? Now your life is substantially better because there's $2,000 every month coming in. So same thing with the customer. If I get the purchase and I'm like, all right, I made my $30 profit, and it just like boom, bye. That's nothing. That $30, that first year and two is nothing to a business because it might collapse anytime, and now you have to start from point zero again. And building a business is like digging for gold. You run around and you dig for gold. You dig for gold. It's so hard to find. But once you dig and you find gold, now this is the spot. Make sure you get every little piece of gold there. Basically, when you start in a business, you have small tool, you have a spoon, and a spoon, it means like your marketing skills, your team, your product. Take that money and improve that tool from a spoon to a shovel to a drill to a machine, and now you're taking every little piece. But a lot of people just don't want to invest in their tool and just want to get whatever they can get. But then you're gonna run out. It's much easier to double down on a business and grow it than to start other businesses. That is a very, very important thing. So for me, it was always about sustainable long-term success, not immediate profit.
Which marketing strategies do you have to promote your brand, your store? And what is the most profitable one?
There's 2 ways to market a product. There's your push marketing and there's your pull marketing. Your push marketing is your main way to promote a new business, where basically you're pushing your product in front of people. In the internet world, you start a store. Now you're in the dark. You're not like in a physical store. Some people just pass by, there's traffic. No, you're in complete darkness. No one knows who you are. Your game plan over time is to improve your SEO, basically your search engine optimization, your location in Google, to get closer to the center of the world. Your problem is how to get from nowhere, no one knows you exist, to pop in when people put the main keyword for your business. Let's say your business is selling MMA shorts. If someone puts MMA shorts and you're a completely new business, you are in page, maybe you're page 100. No one is ever gonna get to that page. You don't exist. Your main job is to work your way up to page one. This is called pull marketing. Pull marketing is if someone gets on a computer and research MMA shorts, they are looking to buy and you're trying to pull them in. And to pull them in, you have to do SEO. And SEO is buying digital real estate, getting from nowhere in the mountains to the center of the city where there's a lot of traffic. If someone search MMA shorts, boom, you're there. And that's pull marketing. But that takes a long time. Push marketing is through what are you selling? Where are your customers? If your customers are Facebook or Instagram, then that's your place. You want to create ads and you want to push your product and service in front of these people. One thing you gotta understand, every product and service exists. And we live in a digital world. A customer is 2 clicks away from another store or another place to get the same product that you're selling. So why would they buy it from you? You have to come up to them first with the best offer. If you can accomplish this, now you can actually do business.
How much budget did you use?
I started my business with maybe $500 to $1,000. So I was ROI positive very early.
And how much did you use for Facebook ads?
I spent on Facebook ads up to now more than $1 million, and Google ads another mil at least.
What is more profitable for you, Facebook or Google?
Let me take you back a little bit. When I started, I focused on Facebook, and Facebook is a very, very bad platform to focus on because it's very insistent. They might shut you down anytime, and they do this a lot. So you want to make sure you're diversing your traffic generation platform. So when I started with Facebook. I had some success. They shut me down. Then I lost all this business. I had to start again. When I started again, a lot of times worst things create some of the best solutions. When that happened, I thought it was worst thing in the world, and then it turned out it was best thing because it pushed me to diverse my marketing into other. And then I started with Google and other platforms like or other avenues like influencer marketing and things like that. The best is really depends on your business.
If you would start from scratch with your martial arts brand, what would you do different?
I wouldn't do anything different. I think I did it perfectly. A very successful and lean model. If I had a partner, I would be really upset now because like then I'm sharing profit, right? And I have to get through them with all these decisions. But in the beginning, I was hurt and I wanted someone to help me. I was like, oh, it's too much work. I'm doing it all by myself and all that. So I think I did it in the leanest, most efficient way. That I frankly believe so. If I was to change something, I would have probably branded a little bit earlier, but I don't think there was a lot of room for me. I always been proactive. I always kind of thought things are great. How can I make sure they become greater? And it always almost took risks to achieve that, which a lot of people are scared. Like when I was starting, a lot of other stores were selling the same product. And then I took risks into branding and changing things and making them like basically investing money and pre-investing to make sure in future, if shit hit the fan, I'm in a better shape. And all these guys got kicked out and they're out of the market now because they didn't plan ahead.
That's interesting. So, which advice do you have for aspiring entrepreneurs when they are in the beginning of their career?
If you're really trying to make a change that's going to make your life drastically better, it's a very small investment to put all your life aside and just focus 100% on that one thing to make sure you reach success. First, you gotta understand it's not going to be easy. If this is how you approach it, it will be so much easier because it could be easy, then perfect. It worked out. You hit the jackpot. But guess what? If it was easy, everybody would have done it. Right, so it's not easy. Everybody want to be in. Everybody want to make big money. Everybody want to be in business. So it's not going to be easy. That's the general rule. If you're learning from someone that got it too easy, they probably got lucky. So don't try to think, oh, this is how it works. And that's how I started. I thought it was going to be easy. So one, it's not going to be easy. Two, make sure you put everything away and just focus on this one thing, and it's going to be worth the investment. In my opinion, it might take 1 to 5 years. If you didn't get this business up and running in 5 years, maybe it's not for you. It's tough. But a lot of times,
That's true. That's true. Yeah.
yeah, but a lot of times it's things gonna work, like 6 months to 2 years. That's probably, I would say, the average if you really focus 100%. If you're starting a business, your body and mind are the main tools you're using to accomplish this. You have to be at an optimal shape. Everybody is born with the range of physicality and intelligence. Physicality is easy to assess. You know, someone like you, you're tall, you're in shape. It's easy. I can see you first time and I'm like, he's tall, he's in shape, right? But I have to hang out with you for a week to realize how smart you are. It takes time to assess intelligence. Now, everybody is born with the range of physicality and intelligence. Some people, like someone like me, I've been working out for so long, I don't get that big. My body is not a big body type. It's more kind of lean type. So I can adapt it to that and I do kickboxing, which doesn't require max. But I optimize my body to what it's best at. Now, intelligence, let's just call it IQ. Let's say your IQ is 8. If you optimize everything, you might hit like 95 or 97. But some people are born at 95 already. And if they optimize, they're like 10, 110, 120. So everybody is born with range of physicality and intelligence. What you could do is outwork the person that is smarter and more physical than you or have more gifts than you. You can always close that gap via hard work. So you are definitely at a range, and don't make this slow you down or make you feel like you don't have a chance. You do, you just have to outwork the other guy. And that is the greatest equalizer. If you work harder, you can close the gap on anybody.
Exactly. And this is your chance right now to really work hard on that, what you really want. And thank you so much for sharing all the insights with you. We had some incredible lessons. And if you watch this podcast right now, just drop in the comments what was your biggest learning. And thank you so much for the time. It was a
Alex,
pleasure
you're the
to
man.
talk to you.
Thank you so much.
And see you in the next episode.
My man.